No, we're not, but you know what? This concept, the reason I made this the DOM is that this concept threw more people off last class than the actual lesson.
Was
Now-
yesterday the 23rd?
Yes. Now, I don't know if yesterday was the 23rd, but I do know that today is the 24th.
How's your day been?
Okay. Good so far. Now, what is 7x plus 3x? What is 7y plus 3y? What is,
10
yes. What are 7 birds plus 3 birds?
10 birds.
What are 7 doms plus 2 doms?
9
Yeah, no, nobody said
You're
10.
on that together on the
Now, today, I can't stress this enough. It doesn't matter what you are adding. As long as they are the same, as long as they are common, then all you really have to do are add the numbers in front of them. And that is it. That's it. We're going to be doing things today like this. It'll be like 3x plus y plus 2x plus y. Now, just like this, are those common?
Yep.
So that would be 5x plus y. And people were freaking out because it's a binomial and it's not just an x or a y or a bird or a dom. But it's the same thing. As long as they are common, then all you have to do is add the pieces in front of them. That is going to be crucial if you're going to understand where the answers are going to come from today. Okay?
Good.
Okay. All right. Here we go. Someone, from your notes, tell me what the first step of factoring is.
Find what's the same.
Common, yes. I had another teacher say, find the greatest common factor, which is basically what we'd be doing. Find the greatest common factor. What was step 2?
Mix them together.
No, that's not correct, but thank you for trying.
Does it have, is it a polynomial? Yeah,
Quadratic.
my bad.
Does nobody have this written down? I've written it on the board like 5
I
times.
do have it written, I just have to open it.
Step 1, find what's common. Find the greatest common factor that'll factor out. Step 2, do you have a quadratic?
What's a quadratic?
That's like x squared plus x plus 7. They'll always be like something squared plus something plus a number. Like x squared plus x plus 7, or y squared minus 2y minus 5, something like that. Step 3, do we have a perfect square or cube? God, I hate this board so much. Square or cube? Now, thus far, you've had really obvious signs about which one you're dealing with. All quadratics are going to be 3 terms, like x squared plus x plus 4. All squares or cubes that we did yesterday are how many terms? Just 2. X squared plus y squared, x squared minus y squared. They're all going to be 2 terms. Every problem we had yesterday, that was what we did, was only 2 terms. If you have your homework in front of you, it was like t cubed minus 8, z squared minus 125, etc. They're all 2 terms. Quadratics are going to be 3 terms. Today we're going to insert step 4. And that is, if it's not a quadratic and it's not a square or cube, can I factor by grouping? Sorry, it looks so weird. Can I factor by grouping? And guess what? These were 3 terms, these were 2 terms, these are going to be 4 terms. Those are going to be 4 terms. So, again, on your quiz Friday, when it says just factor, you could go through this 1, 2, 3, 4 process, or you could just be like, hey, that has 4 terms. I bet I'm going to have to group that. Hey, that has 2 terms. I bet that's going to be a square or cube. Hey, that has 3 terms. I bet it's going to be a quadratic. The number of terms will kind of scream how you should factor it. And today we're going to be looking at 4-term things and factor them by grouping.
So is that the bell ringer right there?
No, the bell ringer is 10x, 10y, 10 birds, 9 doms.
I didn't even say that.
Doesn't surprise me. Okay. I normally don't see your face until like 6 minutes into class. Normally you're turned around. Okay. So, factoring by grouping. And here's what they're going to look like. Again, They are 4 of them. 4 pieces. Nothing else we've done so far had 4 pieces to it. Today's does. But you're still going to go through every problem the same way. Is there something common I can factor out of those? No, this one there's not. Is it a quadratic? No. Bless you. Is it a square or cube? No. Can I factor it by grouping? Here's how you're going to know. Well, actually, the only way to know if you can factor by grouping is to try factoring by grouping. What? That's right. It does have 4 terms. And you're actually exactly right, because I'm not going to throw you curveballs. If I tell you to factor and it's got 4 terms, it's going to be grouping. So, here's how you factor by grouping. You're going to pair up the first 2, and you're going to pair up the second 2. Okay.
It's for me.
Yes? I mean, hello? Alright. Alright, thank you. Bye. Office. Alright. Now that we've grouped them up, what factors out of the first 2? Did anything factor out of the first 2? 7. Very good, Jude. If I divide 7 by both of those, what is going to be left inside my parentheses?
3 and 9.
Boy, that's correct. 3 minus 1. Before we go any further, are there questions to where we got 3 minus y?
Yep.
Yeah.
Is there questions about where we got the 7?
No.
Okay, so you understand where we got the 7. They got the 7 and they said, well, if you're going to factor, if you're going to factor 7 out, then you really have to divide both pieces by 7. Because if we were to multiply that back through, I should get this. 7 times 3 is 21. 7 times negative y is negative 7y. So when you figure out what you're going to factor out, you just have to divide both pieces by that. Q, what's going to factor out of the second one? What's the only thing those 2 things have in common? These 2 pieces have one thing in common. What is it?
X.
X. So keep your same sign, plus we're going to factor out an x. Now if I take an x out of both of those, what am I going to be left with? If I take the x out of both of those, what am I going to be left with?
3y.
3 minus y. Yes, 3 minus y. Now you're always going to know if you've done this right if these 2 pieces are the same. All factoring by grouping boils down to those 2 pieces being the same. Otherwise, there was no point in doing this. Now, hopefully at this point, you can be like, I think I see where he was going with his DOM. In the DOM, I drilled into your head that as long as you have 2 things that are common, then all you have to do is add what's in front of them, correct? 7 birds, 3 birds, 10 birds, etc. So, because these are common, all I'm going to do is add what's in front of them. 7, how many 3 minus y's do I have? Well, I have 7 plus x 3 minus y's. And believe it or not, that is your answer. X plus 7 times 3 minus y. Or 7 plus x. It doesn't really matter your order there. They always like, well, never mind. I don't know why they switched their order. That is the step that loses so many people. When they get here, because they think that by only writing the 3 minus y once, we've kind of gotten rid of one of them. But that's not what happened. We just combined them into one term, just like 7x and 3x was 10x. You don't write the x twice just because there were 2 of them. You just say, well, I have 10 of them now. Same thing. I now have 7 plus x, 3 minus y's.
Wait. How'd you do this?
Is it time to go?
Darn it, you weren't here. I'll show you. You'll see on the next one.
When do we go?
12:19.
9. Oh.
12:19.
Dang.
Okay. Questions on that problem before we do another? Jared, you got any questions? I hope you. No questions. Let's look at another one. I say let's look at it. I'm going to give you a second to start on it, and then we're going to do it together. Because I know some of you weren't in here for it. Start on it, then we'll do it together. Don't forget, go through your order. First thing, is there anything common? Second thing?
Can we get in partners now?
No, not yet. Not yet.
mean?
That's like x squared plus x plus 7. There'll always be 3 terms in a quadratic.
Would you still like if there's something that goes in, never mind.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
we'll do it together. I just want everybody to at least take a look at it. See how far they can get on their own before we do it together.
Wait a second.
I'm mad,
Oh, you want to send me the board?
All right.
If you're still working, by all means keep working. Step 1 is what?
Wait.
I don't know how to do it no more.
No more. When did you know how to do it?
When you did it.
Well, we're going to keep doing it. I have 4 examples set aside, not just 2. So hopefully by the 4th one you will know. But step 1, now all factoring is still done the same way. Step 1, is there anything common in all 4 pieces? No, there's not. Step 2, is it a quadratic? No, it's 4 terms. Step 3, is it a square or a cube? No, it's 4 terms. Step 4, let's try grouping. If it's 4
First 2 and the last 2.
Very good. Oh, hold on. Did I skip one? Sugar. I meant to do this one. Did I accidentally skip a problem?
No.
No, park. I meant to do that one first. Oh well. We're going to run into an issue here that I was hoping not to run into for another example, but oh well, we'll just go ahead and do it. Now, first 2 and the last 2. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and work this as it is, and I'm going to tell you right now, when we get to the end, we're going to notice a small problem. At least I hope we notice it. And when we get to that problem, I'm going to backtrack and be like, this is what you need to do to avoid that problem. So we're just going to keep going as it is. Let's see. Shuck, what do these 2 things have in common? A z. And is there anything I can factor out of their numbers?
2.
Thank you, Shuck. 2z. If I divide both of those pieces by 2z, what's left?
4, 1.
And
3. 3Z, negative 3Z.
just 3. We took out the z. We took out the z.
What is that?
Is that 4y minus?
Yes,
Minus
I've already done this for this board like 4 times today.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that 4y minus 3?
Yes.
Duh.
Shut up.
Why does that make it awesome?
Because it used to just be red.
I know they're green now.
Okay, now, minus. What can I take out of the second one?
3.
Very good.
And
What's
the
that
y-
going to leave me with?
Wait, yeah, never mind. You can't take the
4y plus 3.
Minus 3.
Now, I told you a second ago, aha, you're right. I told you a second ago, if you did this right, these should always be the same, right? And then I also said, we're going to run into a problem on this one. Are these the same?
No.
No. They should be the same. And here's why they're not the same. When you put these things in groups, you might want to make a note of this somewhere. If your middle sign is minus, then when you break it off into a group, what you're kind of doing is factoring a negative out of both pieces. So when that's a minus and you group these, you have to change this sign to the opposite of whatever it is. If it's plus, you make it minus. If it's minus, you make it plus. If that sign, so 1 in the middle, is minus, then you have to change the sign of whatever the last one is. So if it was plus, then this should have been a minus. And if it's a minus, are we happy now? Yes, because now we have minus 3, which is what I wanted. Yeah, yes, you were right. You're exactly right.
So if that's a minus, you need to change it to minus to make them both the same. Pretty much what you're saying.
More or less. Just, yeah, and the reasoning behind it is,
So the numbers outside don't have to be the same, just the ones in parentheses.
yep.
Okay.
Now, how many 4y minus 3's do I have?
2.
I have this many, and I have that many. So I have 2z minus 3, 4y minus 3's.
This is easy enough.
It is, if you can grasp concepts behind it. Some people think this is the hardest kind of factoring there is because they have trouble grasping why you have to change the sign and therefore they forget it. And they keep forgetting that when you get down to this point, you just have to put these two pieces together. Notice, if it's -3, it's going to be -3. And, yeah. Is there a specific question over this problem? Okay, well, let's do another one. Yeah, good idea. Okay. Try this one. Go. Do the problem. I assume you already did the first 2 steps.
Oh, yeah.
First 3 steps. Okay. Then you grouped. Go on.
No doubt about it. So, 3 and 15. The only thing that goes in them is 3, ain't it?
Yep.
So
For the
you're-
numbers.
You're going
You
to
may have a common letter as well.
So you're going to
Don't
put
mess up your being recorded.
3 and then you're going to put an A on there.
Yep. Yep.
A
He won't.
minus
Parentheses.
parentheses. What you got left over? You got an X left over. 6, 9, 12. You ain't got anything left over. So it's just an
What's
X.
15 divided by 3?
Is that like 8 or something? 5? So it's 5.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You like how I said that all dramatically? Erase that.
All of it?
No, just the 5 and the dash. Okay. You're actually dividing both of these pieces by this. So this divided by this was X. You were right. Write that first.
There's no plot.
Now, minus, you just write down exactly what's up there. This divided by this was your 5. Now keep going.
What is going on?
They need to make a movie.
That's exactly what you have on
Can I
your
just put my other
paper.
parentheses down here because I ain't got enough room?
What?
I'll fit
Hold on,
it.
hold on, hold on. I can help you.
make it fit.
Yeah, just write smaller next time. Go.
Alright.
Whoa! What was between those sets of parentheses?
Plus.
Okay. There you go.
But now I don't know about this X and the 5.
Nothing comes out, does it?
So you just write X minus 5?
And you'll know if it's right if it matches the other set of parentheses, does it?
It does.
Which it do! Now, I then heard an excellent question. If there's no number here, what do we always assume there is there in math whenever there's no number? Okay, now go.
Put the 1 in front of the parentheses?
Well, no, you don't have to write it, but you have to group them now.
So, you're going to get, you got 1 right there, so it'll be 4A.
You can't add them as, I mean, you add them, but they are not like terms. It's just
3A plus 1.
in parentheses.
What if they were like terms?
They won't, here's the thing.
3A plus 1.
She asked a good question. She said, what if they were like terms? If they were like terms,
Would you just add?
hold on a second. If they were like terms, then that means that they would have come out of all 4 pieces and you would have taken it out in the very beginning anyway, in that first step. So that, it shouldn't. It shouldn't. All right, keep going.
X minus 5.
Yep.
So you got to put them together, don't you? Or do you not do that?
Just write x minus 5 right. Done. Nice.
Extra credit.
Well done. Yes, I will mark
I
it
bet
down.
you like recording this.
Why?
Just listening to it like later.
You think I listen to these later? You don't think I get sick of hearing all this
Get
stuff
some-
during the
get some
day?
light.
I teach this 4 times a day. You don't think I get sick of this stuff? Okay. Very good. This is perfect.
We do another one.
Yes. But first, I want to make sure, does anybody have questions for Nick about any steps that he did?
How'd you get through?
All the
I don't know.
Good question. Because, you know, if this was a 2, you wouldn't have any questions, right? It should be 3A plus 2. You need something to stand in for that. If you don't put that there, if you just put 3A, then if you were to take your answer, because remember, all math is reversible. Like if you add something, you should be able to subtract it back out and get what you started with, right? So if we're factoring this, then we should be able to multiply it back together when we're done. If this wasn't there, then when you multiplied this, it wouldn't match up the same. Because this says, you know, if you were to multiply this right now, you'd get 3ax minus 15ax, or excuse me, 15a. But then if this 1 wasn't here, you'd be done. And these two pieces wouldn't be accounted for. So you need this in here so that you get plus x minus 5. So if there's no number, you have to put a 1 in there, meaning there's just one more of these. I may have just done more harm than good with that explanation, but you're taking it well, so thank you.
I think it's pretty easy.
I'm glad you think so. Would anybody like to come up and do the last one for extra credit?
Yo, hands up first.
Nick Barnes got
Everybody
this.
gets done with the first day.
That is an excellent idea. Y'all just hang tight. Let's put the next one on the board. There's the last one. I'll call on somebody in a minute. There's the last one.
That one's
Nah. Jalen's going to put this one on the board for us.
The phone on the board. Because that happened to me.
Whatever. Don't jump to the answer. Don't jump to the answer. Oh, okay, you're not. Just kidding. Well, can you at least put parentheses at the top? Thank
Now you're
you.
doing something right now.
Yeah, welcome to the world of the worst sport in the world. World, whatever. It's the same as what? I've been wondering about that too.
What?
World War Z, we wanted to see it.
Yeah. And like a wall.
I was very highly upset. My aunt watched the second
They just smash
to
into
the
the
last
wall and they just climb over each other till they see.
and I was at her house and I was like,
Of
I
what?
cannot just not look at it.
Of what, Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
So you saw it, but you didn't
I
see
saw-
everything shooting it?
I saw where the part where Jesse gets, you know, taken. And
Breaks your heart, doesn't it?
it does.
Did you see his girlfriend?
I didn't get that far. I left because I was like, no, I'm not going to wait.
Nice.
Very
Very nice. Now, if you have this on your paper, it is mostly correct, but it's not finished. Now, for what I've taught you today, it's absolutely correct. However, whenever you're factoring something, you have to see if there's anything part of it that could keep factoring. Is there anything here, either one of those sets of parentheses?
Is this like what we did yesterday?
Yes! I was going to say,
Oh,
the first person to
genius.
tell you what it is gets a bonus.
Is that recording?
Yes.
See, I already knew that, but I didn't do it on there.
Oh, well, I knew that. Well, you may have. Okay, now, what is this? Is this a cube? Is this a squares?
Squares.
It's the difference of two squares, so what was the formula for it?
A plus B and A minus B.
Very good. I'm not even going to bother writing it. I'll just pull down the box. That's where this answer came from. They got the exact same thing as you guys, except then they took this and factored it into C plus D and C minus D. That is a higher order thinking question. And you're probably going to see something like that on your AST test. ACT for short.
I took the ACT.
All right. Questions. If you can do that one, you can do today's.
Let's get all this
Can we do one?
homework.
Wait. Let's do one more because we have like a few minutes for lunch.
No, Taylor.
And you don't want to just get started?
Let's get started on the homework. What people want to do it. So,
Homework.
Well, it don't matter.
Okay.
Wait, what are we doing?
That. Write these down. I'm taking these down when you go to lunch. So have them on the board. But I'll tell you what, since we're getting started early, after lunch, I will give extra credit opportunities toward the end of class so people will put these on the board after I've graded them.
I call one of them.
We'll take you when the time comes. Maybe, I'll let Taylor do it. Taylor. Maybe. Let's say she's not sassing off.
When is that?
Seriously. So those are the three. Make sure you have them written down before lunch. And then about 10 minutes till this class ends, I'll have 3 people put them on the board for extra.
Is there recording?
I'll do it.
What did you do to the cat?
What did I do to the what?
You can get
The
started
count.
with calling
The
it
count.
The count.
I didn't do any.